Yeah, nah, DC is so flipping back. Did y'all watch what I did on HBO? That shit was hands down, yeah, show of the year. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Penguin. I'll be so real, I won't lie to you. I didn't have much expectations going into this show at all, yeah. Like, I fully waited for the show to conclude until I decided, you know what, now's the time to pick it up. Like, I didn't want outsider influence or glazing of the internet to really influence my review of this show. But it didn't matter anyways because I watched that shit and I was like, I was blown away. Like, I'm seeing the glaze for what I was seeing in the show during the time it was out. It is so justified because that was some of the best character development and storytelling I've seen in a long time. Obviously, this video will have spoilers, so if you don't want it to get spoiled on you, obviously click off. But if you like spoilers, stick around. But if you're gonna click off, spin back and yeah, let's get into it. Now, what I will say is the Penguin does a phenomenal job playing off of Matt Reeves' The Batman. Especially towards the ending where the Riddler decides to create No Man's Land, which is one of my favorite adaptations in a Batman storyline. I'm pretty sure Gotham did it in the final season, but they didn't do it too well because obviously rights issues and whatever. But with HBO, these men are allowed to do almost anything and everything, and that was sick. What I loved about the setting up of the Penguin universe, well, it's kind of the Batman's, but you get what I'm saying. What I loved about the first episode and the world building within it was the power vacuum that was left in Gotham, which obviously was because of the flooding, which essentially left the criminal underworld up for grabs. And I love how they used that as a major plot point for the main characters involved in the show in some way. I think one of the first characters I have to talk about in this show is Cobb, the Penguin, Oswald, Cobblepot, whatever you want to call him. Actually, that will actually lead into one of my first points. In the show, they actually never refer to him as Oswald Cobblepot, and I think that's done intentionally. Because Cobblepot as a surname could be taken as a joke or to be mocked, and this version of Oz, the Penguin, yeah, he wanted to demonstrate like he's someone serious and you should not take him lightly. And that is quite evident in the first episode where sorry, I just remembered the scene playing out. It's actually insane because Oz is giving out his whole speech as to what he wants. He wants respect, he wants to be loved, and then Alberto was just laughing in this guy's face. He said, "That's it right there." Oz has had enough and he just uploads the guy like that off, like already in the first episode. Because normally in the portrayals in the shows I've seen him before and the games, he's not really a serious character. He's not somebody to be taken serious. But for the fact that he offed Alberto Falcone in the first episode is insane. I will give my props to Colin Farrell though. That guy's performance in this show was beautiful. This guy was a serious guy when he needed to be, a light-hearted guy when he needed to be, but overall, dickhead. I don't give a Let me calm down. It's not time to talk about how this guy is the worst person to ever exist. The relationship that Oz has with his mom, Victor, his brothers, Sophia, even Eve. Yes, Eve. Even that was disturbing. Like, I feel like they all add into something with his character. His character in this show is so complex that anyone he interacts with, it always changes depending on the situation. And I just love characters like that. It's just so refreshing to see. Like, take Victor, for example. He's a nurturing father figure, and it's crazy to think that, given the circumstance of how they met. Even with Sophia, he went from her driver to owning his own operation within Gotham, just showing his growth. These relationships were so interconnected into the story, and it just made for some good storytelling. But by far, obviously, I think the main story when it comes to Oz is his relationship with his mother, and that one, let me get into it. The relationship between the two is so deep and disturbing. I just couldn't keep my eyes off of the screen. I wouldn't even know where to start breaking it down from, but I'm gonna give it a try anyways. I think it only makes sense to start at the end of the show where we get the flashback and see Oz being brought up. This was like a key thing in the whole story as it played out. But essentially, Oz being a needy kid and sending his brothers back to the lobby just so his mom could love him and him only was nefarious work. Like, when that was revealed, I was genuinely shocked because I thought his brothers just died off of a freak accident or something. But for the fact that he was directly responsible for their killing, and like the fact that he could have prevented it and told somebody about it, he said, "Nah, let me watch this movie on my own." You're sick! You're sick! And deep, he was a kid when this happened, which makes things even more insane. And it is crazier to think that the mom knew about this the whole time, but still she was afraid to do anything about it, or whatever the reason was. Like, I don't get how you can love somebody to that point knowing that your kid was responsible for your two sons dying at such a young age. I don't know how you can forgive that. I don't know. Even when Sophia was threatening Oz's mom like that, like, listen, I'm gonna chop off her pinky, I'm gonna do this and that, he was still rejecting the idea that he did anything wrong, which was insane. I just can't believe this. It's crazy to me that Oz did this at such a young age, but he's still determined to make sure his mom has this kind of lifestyle that he promised her when he was a kid and doing this and that. It just adds to their relationship, which I really do enjoy. I guess this is where I'll touch on Eve because the next point really plays into it. Like, I didn't really pay too much attention to Eve's character and what she was doing in general, but my gosh, that ending, ridiculous work. I remember the conversation that she had with Sophia talking about like her relationship with Oz is deep and layered and it's not what you expect it to be. Whole time I'm thinking like, yeah, nah man, she's definitely one of the special Oz or something like that. I didn't take it as you're cosplaying as his mother that is now a vegetable. What the Believe me, when I saw this, I actually screamed. Because I was like, there is no way they're doing this. But that's what I'm simply saying. I think that just adds into the deep layer relationship that he has with his mother, and it's very concerning at the exact same time. Yeah, no, that's cool. We're gonna talk about Victor and his relationship with Oswald now. It was kind of like a father figure and lost son relationship, despite how they met is completely insane. No, seriously, because the way it happens, like, imagine Victor's like, yo, if I steal this room off this really nice guy right now, sell it for a few quid, we'll be able to make some sort of money right now. And then Oswald literally just holds you at gunpoint. Hey, listen, bro, you're about to be my lackey for the rest of the show right now. You're going to do this and this, or else I'm going to pop you. And he just complies. I will say, I do like Victor and how he progresses in the story. He's deadass like me. He's just a young kid trying to make it for... I'm not even young no more. Shit. But like, the guy is shy. The guy is timid. But like, towards the end of the show, this guy is telling more bosses, yeah, to stand on business, which is insane. And I like that kind of progression in a character. I like that kind of shit, man. Again, I'll say this. I really love how they used the ending of the Batman in terms of the flood and how it affected Gotham and how it affected his character and his hometown and his people. Like, the events of the Batman forced Victor himself to seek out more for himself and to better his life, to have the life that his father never had. The relationship with Squid, I won't lie, I didn't care too much. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand the importance of him taking him out for the sake of business, and this is why I really like his character. Because Victor of like episode 1 and 2 would have been too scared to offing Squid when it was obviously best for business. But towards the end, Victor understands like, listen, he's gonna have to do some things that he's not morally okay with, but in order for his survival and for Penguin's survival, he has to do it. And I love that. No, but I'll tell you what we do need. We need happier endings. Sly. Like, this guy had to do, yeah, at the end of the day, was get on that bus with his girl. He would have been chilling. Instead, he chose to be with an obese crime boss, which ended up costing him his life. Like, what the hell? And again, I will not lie to you, I did not see this coming because I really thought Oswald had a soft spot for this guy. But the fact that Oz was able to dispose of Victor after he proved his loyalty to him over and over again, it just shows that Oswald is a terrible guy and he's a bad villain. And honestly, I believe the showrunners did this to remind us that Oz is not a good guy and he's somebody that is deep rooted in evil. I'm not joking. In terms of like the side characters in this show, like Sal, Dr. Julian, Luca, Johnny Vito, all these, man, I didn't really care about them too much. Like, I get it, they were integral to Sophia's story, but like Sophia as her own character, I'm gonna talk about. Damn, man, I didn't really care. Dr. Rush, that guy, he's weird. I will say something about him. He's a weird guy. He freaky, and not the good kind of freaky, just weird. Like, you're weird, bro, you're weird. Sophia in this show, I won't lie, I was blown away. I was surprised. I will admit, I didn't really know too much about Sophia Falcone in any DC publication. I'll be very honest with you. This is my first impression of this character, and I can't lie, it was done so well. Like, I'm not sure what episode it is. I'm pretty sure it was episode 4, the one where we see her torment in Arkham Asylum. I believe that was one of the best episodes in the entire show. In this episode, you saw her vulnerability, you saw her desperation, you saw her try to prove her innocence in the situation. Like, you saw this woman going through it, trying to say, I'm innocent, to then finally accepting her situation and just writing it out. I will say though, the crash out that she had on Magpie though, I was so there for it. That shit was tough. She went crazy. She said, oh, you guys think I'm insane? Just you wait. And bro, what she did to that woman, I can't even show you what she did. I'll get banned. One thing I love about her character is that she's able to detach herself from revenge and she's able to play the long game to try outwit her enemies. Honestly, I think Sophia in this show, she added so many good moments and like was a good antagonist to Penguin, even though he's an antagonist as well. Her overall work in this show was just something I didn't expect, and honestly, I was really there for her and I enjoyed. I enjoyed her conclusion simply because I don't know in the comics or anything if Sophia and Selena Kyle are actually related. I just know that's gonna have a big part to play in the Batman 2 or whatever like installment they have in this universe that they're building, which I will say is absolute peak right now. These man are 2 for 2 right now, and I'm so there for it. And on that topic, I will say the conclusion of this show is really done well. It sets the way for the universe going forward. In terms of Penguin solidifying himself as the crime boss of Gotham in general, Sophia's most likely gonna have like a breakout in Arkham or something like that. She's gonna have a run with Selena Kyle and other Arkham people. Like, it's there. And you had the ending scene of the bat signal showing as Penguin is having his dance with Eve. Again, I don't want to talk about that scene too much because honestly, it's deeply disturbing. Deeply. I'll say this project from the Penguin shows that these men are not playing when it comes to this new like era for DC. They want to be heavy hitters, and again, I'm so there for it. It took characters that aren't really known in mainstream like that, or even if they are known, they're not as seriously taken like Penguin or Sophia. They made them characters that you want to know more, you want to be in their story, you want to engage with them more and more, and that's a job well done. I feel like the Batman universe will benefit very greatly from this TV show alone, and it will probably make them want to make more shows like this in the future. And again, I'll be there for it. So essentially, yeah, that's kind of my quick review of the Penguin show in general. Again, please check this out if you haven't. It's a great watch. Honestly, I'll rate this a good 8 out of 10. And that's insane because they didn't even bring the Batman into this. They didn't even cameo him in like any way. They just referred to him by name, I think once. No, but that's it for me anyways. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share this video, do whatever you want to do. Hey, in fact, comment. I want to get a discussion going in there. I want something in there.
What do you mean by that?
Pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, deuces.